If you're somebody who depends on a emotional support animal, then or an emotional support pet, then you might resonate deeply with this story. This one is being done by special request. Okay. So, a 76-year-old woman says that she is stranded in Puerto Rico after the airline denied her emotional support parrot from boarding the plane and returning to the United States of America. The thing is, this is the same airline that brought her and her support parrot to Puerto Rico from the United States of America. The 76-year-old New York woman said that she is stuck in Puerto Rico after an error was made when transporting her emotional support parrot on board a flight. Maria Fraterigo, she hopped on a Frontier Airlines flight at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York with her pet bird Plucky in a TSA approved carrier without any incident. However, her trip came to a halt when she tried to get on her flight with the animal on April 5th to return back to the United States of America. The story is according to WABC TV, WCBS TV, CBS News, and other news media houses. The woman claims that she was told by Frontier Airlines flight staff in Puerto Rico, no, 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 that was a mistake at JFK. In other words, JFK should not have allowed her to get on the flight with Plucky, her, and make that trip. If you want to get on a flight, get rid of the bird, is what they told her. Imagine that. Quote unquote. She says, I have been traumatized. Remember, this is her emotional support animal. I have been traumatized. It's like I am abandoned. A lot of people lean on their emotional support animals, and if they are taken away from them, can have catastrophic blowback in their lives. Maria continued per the outlet. She said, my medicine is home. Doctor's appointments, everything is just a nightmare. She's trying to get back home so she could take her medicine, so she could get to her doctor's appointment, so she could basically get back to her life in the comfort of her home with her support parrot, Plucky. Now, Frontier Airlines responded to a request for comments from people and other news media outlets in writing. And they said, quote unquote, we're currently investigating the matter and we are in contact with the customer and her family to assist her in returning home as soon as she can present all of the government mandated documentations. As a matter of standard policy, as noted on our website, we do not normally transport parrots on our aircraft. Maria's son, Robert Fraterigo, said that he has been trying to work with the airlines to find a solution since the bird was very important to his mother. He noted that the animal gave her so much comfort after his father's death, as the pair had often traveled with Plucky. Now, like I said before, people who have these support animals, it could be a combat veteran who is trying to adjust back to normal civilian life and he has a dog. It can be a rape or molestation victim who has a cat as a support animal, and even in places where pets are not allowed, there's always a clause that says unless they are a support animal. So the law even recognizes the importance of someone having their support animal with them, even to go grocery shopping or anything like that. The son noted that the animal gave his mom lots of comfort after his father passed away, because the pair often traveled with Plucky. Now, however, The airline told him that that was a mistake that was made by JFK at the airport in New York, and that large bird like parrot were not allowed on board their aircraft. He said that his mom had a letter from the vet saying that Plucky was an emotional support animal, and the flight staff accepted the letter when she was boarding the plane to leave the US. There was never a question as to what type of bird my mother was bringing or any other documentation that was required from her to leave the US with Plucky. According to Frontier Airlines website, only small household birds are allowed on board and only on domestic flights only, not international flights and not big birds. They have said that Plucky is a big bird and that flight obviously is international. The airline also noted that large birds, including parrots and macaws and cockatoos, birds of prey, are never, ever accepted on board. Now, Maria was refunded $190 for the ticket and issued a $250 voucher. However, Robert told the news media houses that his mother was still stuck in Puerto Rico with no way home. This is an island. This is not where my mom can jump in a car or I can jump in a car and go get her down the street. He told WABC TV that he had reached out to smaller airlines to see if his mom could get on a private charter to get her to Tampa, Florida, where he currently lives, but he hasn't had any luck so far. He told the outlet, "My mother did nothing wrong, and she just needs to be taken care of and be sent some help and be sent home. She didn't want anything else but to just go home, and it seems like no one wants to help her." As for Maria, she told the outlet that she refused to leave Plucky behind, and all she wanted was to return back to New York City with her parrot Plucky. She told WABCS News or WCBS TV News, she said, "I want to go home. That's all I want. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. That's it. I want to go home with my bird." The person that asked me to do this story, I hope you enjoyed the delivery or you found some satisfaction or solace in the way the story was delivered. My personal opinion, I have saved for last. As a U.S. Army infantry combat veteran that has seen combat, I'm very familiar with the importance of having a emotional support animal. I had two dogs, and my two dogs, when I lost my two dogs, I cried like a baby. I actually never thought that I could fall in love with animals and animals could ever bring so much comfort to a human until I had a relationship with those dogs. When I lost my home, and I had to drop my dogs off back at the pound where I got them from. Mind you, I got these dogs when they weighed about 3 pounds, 2.5, 3 pounds. When my dogs and I separated, those dogs were 100 and 110 pounds each, respectively. They had grown in my company. They were trained in my company. Those were my running dogs, my training dogs. And tell you the truth, after I lost them, I never was the same again. Like, I never went running long distance again. I had no more interest in being in the great outdoors, So, speaking from a personal perspective, I also made up my mind that I would never have another emotional support animal. I would find other ways to deal with my issues because I realized how deeply I would have fell in love or attached myself to an animal and anything can happen. Most of the times, their lifespan is shorter than ours. So somewhere along the line, there's going to be some grieving and then I would have to get another one, right? So I started looking into all that. Now, as far as this lady goes, as far as this 76-year-old woman goes, with her emotional support parrot on board Frontier Airlines. You know, I feel like Frontier made a mistake. They were the ones who allowed her to get on their airline and transported her to Puerto Rico. And now they're saying that their website and their rules and regulations says XYZ. For her, that's all blah, blah, blah. You transported her there against your own guidelines, so you need to bring her back home with her parrot against your own guidelines as well and make it right. What you did wrong, you need to make it right. I think it's very foul, rude, and disrespectful that they gave this woman a refund on her ticket while she is stuck in Puerto Rico. $190 for her ticket plus a $250 voucher. What is that supposed to do? That does not get her back home. And all she wants to do is go back home the same way she left with her parrot, Plucky. This is the airline's fault. I'll close this video by saying this. For those of you who follow this channel, you remember me telling you that I took my family to Jamaica, all my children plus me and wifey. So it was 8 of us. And each person had a personal bag. Even my little baby girl, everybody had a personal bag. We went to Jamaica on American Airlines. When we were coming back, for some reason, they switched us to the same airline right here that this 76-year-old woman is now having issues with getting back to the U.S. Frontier Airlines. What Frontier did was charge me $98 for each person's personal bag. Even my little 4-year-old, my daughter was 3 at the time, even my little 3-year-old daughter's bag that she had on her little back, I got charged. So I had to pay $98. You just call that $100 times 8. Boarding the airplane, $800, almost $1,000 for bags alone. I made a promise that I would never in my life, ever, under no circumstances, fly with Frontier Airline ever. So I already have a bad taste in my mouth where Frontier Airline is concerned. Now to see them do something like this to this 76-year-old woman and her emotional support parrot by bringing her to Puerto Rico and then leaving her there, refusing to bring her back home to the U.S., claiming that their website and their rules says, that is as foul as it gets. This also solidifies to me even more, if Frontier is the only way I have to get to where I'm going, I'm not going. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SoFlo TV. I'm out. Peace.